less than a cent per hour, or I
That
get less
sounds
than a
about
cent.
right.
You get a better pay per year.
Just because I don't do things.
I don't
Hey,
know. Maybe you spent hours on your poem.
I work hard on those poems. To clarify, the haiku that I did last episode, I literally wrote it in under 15 seconds.
Rhyme or free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry.
Good day, and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we take a deep dive into my dabbling with poetry between 2004 and 2008, when I was in high school. Each week, we hear a selection read aloud for what may be the first time, and we will examine it for its historical, philosophical, and literary qualities, always asking, why in the world did I write this? I am dragging my dear friend Dave with me on this journey into my old private journal. Dave, I hear you are going to contribute a new poem to our canon.
Yes, I feel it's important for me to express my emotions about the pain that you're dragging me through. So this week, I wrote a limerick. There once was a podcast so strange, whose hosts were entirely deranged. They chatted and yapped, their gums they did flap. Those weirdos with poetry like mange.
Impressive.
I got skills, right?
Yeah. Your poetry contributions should be what we're analyzing at this point. Because they're better.
I think they are worse in a more fun way.
Right, yeah. I mean,
I think that's it.
You worked mange into that.
Right?
Well, having heard your lovely contribution, I get to add mine.
Yes.
From the Wolf Journal. This is the last poem of December 1st, 2005.
Ooh.
This one has a title.
Okay.
And the title of this poem is called Ode to Anyone. I will read this as written because I think there's grammatical errors in here that I'm going to read it as is. So
Okay. That is really encouraging.
May anyone who reads this be blessed. May all your dreams come true. May you go on living in happy closure of what you have and what exists. For anyone whose life is full of joy deserves all the recognition in the world, for they have accomplished the impossible.
It sounds like you really want to write for Disney princesses.
Right? Yeah, the all your dreams come true line.
Yeah.
That sticks out like a sore thumb.
I mean, when you wish upon a star, Aaron, makes no difference.
Don't go too far. The mouse will get us.
Yep. The mouse will come after all of our hard-earned profits.
I'll throw it up on the screen so you can see the glaring mistake that I have made here.
So did you read it with the mistake?
I did. You can't tell it, but it's in the last line.
Okay. So is that how it was originally in the journal?
That's how it is in the journal and in the typed version. I did not catch it.
So just to clarify, readers,
Listeners.
they have dear listeners, dear readers, dear viewers, dear friends, for they have accomplished the THEE impossible. So, what do you think that means, Aaron? Are you that bad at writing that you didn't know how the word the is spelt? Or do you think that it's the impossible, as in your impossibility?
So clearly, I was going for...
No. Nothing you have done in this poem is clear.
Okay, so to address the obviously I'm trying in this to invoke poetic language, these and thous. And okay, so when you have a the article the in front of a vowel in singing and in speech, it is pronounced the. So, or is that more for singing? Because I suppose people can say the impossible within spoken.
Yeah, but I think it's considered proper pronunciation to do your way.
Okay, so I'm writing in my head, it's pronounced the impossible. And my 15-year-old self, and honestly, my current self, I am the worst speller in the world, would make this mistake 90% of the time. I don't know if I would make this particular mistake with the article the, but but I could totally see myself doing that.
I really thought the argument you were going to make is that you were doing that like on purpose to help with pronunciation.
No.
No?
That is not the case.
Okay. So
okay.
we can get into structure now?
Overall
Or
structure.
like
I mean, first impressions, you were not impressed.
well, to be fair, like the first 4 lines, I heard some, I mean, I'm not going to call it meter, but there was some driving force to it at least. But then once you got to exist, I got a little frustrated because, like, may anyone who reads this be blessed. May all your dreams come true. May you go on living in happy closure of what you have and what exists.
Yeah, it breaks.
And it's like, it's kind of, I mean, it's got kind of the iamb with a couple, I don't remember the stressed, unstressed. I need to actually like look up poetry words.
Yeah, 13 episodes in, you think we would
Know something?
Oh man. Yeah.
Incorrect. Hey, we are 2 straight white men. We don't need to know things. We just assert things. Right?
We just like pretend like we know and then go on. Oh man.
Oh, it's almost like that's the very definition of toxic masculinity. Weird. Huh. Didn't see that one coming.
Dear listeners, we know we are bad at this.
Yes.
And by this, I mean this entire podcast.
You are correct, sir.
but we're having fun and we hope you are too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the if I would have rhymed with true and if it would have been a single syllable word of what you have and what is blue. I mean, there were
Is it bad that putting blue in there is better than what you have? Just any random word that rhymes with true?
you know, honestly, it does work better, I think.
It kind of does.
It makes you like wonder, like, oh,
Yeah.
what is blue? What are things that
Right,
are blue?
it's that ambiguity, the
Right.
beauty of poetry.
What we talked about last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what did I mean by happy closure?
Yeah.
That seems like a misuse of the word closure. Hit me with the linguistics there.
Well, I'm reading this. May you go on living in happy closure. Like, I'm reading this as kind of the complicated nature of the word perfect as well. Like, people think of perfect as ideal, but you can also define it as completed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, closure as being completed and done, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's kind of a contentness, you know?
Yeah, I suppose closure could be like you've completed all your goals, or you have all that you need. There's closure in the sense that relationships are tied up in a happy bow.
I think that's where I was going with it too, is that that's most often where I hear the word closure is about relationships. And having closure in a relationship doesn't mean that that relationship is over. It means it's the ends are tied on it. So like when I was in high school and a relationship ended, or, you know, like I broke up with a girlfriend or a girlfriend broke up with me, we could find closure because I was a very cool person, and the only people that I dated in high school were members of choir and musicals and stuff. And so, like, we still had to interact on a daily basis.
You mean not everyone does that?
I mean, for us, yeah.
Literally every one of my girlfriends was from choir or musical.
Yep, 100%.
And I think we've hit the nail on the head here with that word. Because, again, this is coming off of not only the 3 poems of December 1st,
Right.
but the 3 poems that preceded that on November 30th, which was about a girl from musical. She was the stage manager. But yes, I think clearly throughout all of these poems, maybe even the last poem, which we really didn't address the relationship angle of that.
Right.
But happy closure is what I am looking for. In that it was a relationship that I felt at the time ended too soon, and we were still good friends and in the same friend group. And so I wanted that tied up in a nice bow.
Right. Yeah. I am interested in the 2 lines, for anyone whose life is full of joy deserves all the recognition in the world. I have no idea what the heck you could possibly intend to mean by that.
Really?
I'm reading that and I don't know.
Okay, so here's my interpretation as I read it.
Okay.
We give a lot of recognition to people within society. Rich, famous, powerful, influential. There's a lot of different ways in which we recognize individuals.
Right.
I think within this poem, I'm trying to say we need to recognize those people who are joyful, who have found content, closure in a world that is, to use language I don't think I would use at the time, in a world that's broken.
Sure.
To find people who have hope, who have joy, they deserve all the recognition in the world. Both of us are, what do you call yourself? A pessimistic realist?
Whoop whoop.
Yeah. I think we both tend to see the shadows of the world, the worst of people and the worst possible outcomes.
Death is inevitable.
That's why we're on anxiety meds, Dave.
yeah.
But I think people who have that gift of finding the good in others and in their lives, that's joy.
Sure. I haven't had that same connotation in the past. I might be stealing that connotation because I like it.
If you're listening to this and we don't know each other, I'm so curious as to who you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to reach out. You don't have to. But if you feel comfortable just sending us an email with your thoughts on this project, how you found us, what you think, you're welcome to do that.
Right.
Okay, so what can we learn from an ode? Oh, we never really talked about this is an ode.
Yeah.
A new style for me.
Yeah. Well, and I like, it's interesting that you have it as an ode to anyone, even though you probably had someone very specific in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it is pretty universal.
Totally. And I think, literally this, I am not joking in the introduction. These are what may be read for the first time out loud. So, you, dear listeners, are the ones who get to read this and be blessed for the first time as outsiders of this journal.
Important question for the sake of the listeners. What is the difference between blessed and cursed?
Are you saying that hearing my poems are a curse?
I'm not saying that.
Oh.
Oh, the look in your eyes.
I was originally going to follow you down the rabbit hole of like, well, Hebrew scribes did not want to write curse God and die, so they would write bless God and die. And so the words were often conflated within manuscripts. But I realized very quickly that was not where you were going.
No, that's not where I was going. I'm just here to hurt your feelings.
Well, bless you, Dave.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. I love you too, buddy.
Yeah, it's mutual.
Well,
But I think we've talked multiple times off air on why are we doing this podcast, and honestly, for those in the TikTok generation and even a little before and probably those after that, you're going through a lot of stuff, and you're gonna have ideas and thoughts and words that sound a lot like what this journal is. And that's okay. You're processing things.
yeah.
And it's taken me 16 years to pull this out and to look through what I was processing and to reprocess it. I think there's things that I have gained looking at what my former self thought, and ways in which that's evolved, and ways in which maybe I need to evolve.
Right. Well, but and I really appreciate that, and I think that it is a useful lesson for all people, because I think that you and I in our career do a lot more introspection than other people, and that's not to say that that's always a good thing, or to say that I am better than others because I do more introspection. It's just part of who we are.
It's the privilege of our job. We get to sit and think. Yeah.
And I wonder how many people have something similar to this out there, or who don't have a way to revisit their high school time and think about how they've changed, or how they've stayed the same, and how they would like to change.
So we've done it was a broad perspective. It kind of looked more at the overall poems and maybe this podcast project in general. But I think we can move to our final segment of all of these podcasts, the part that people look forward to the most.
Mm-hmm.
Good or garbage, Dave?
Good or garbage? How does one define garbage? Can one define garbage? I believe you can. And I would define garbage as an ode to anyone.
You just went straight up, this is garbage?
Yep, straight up, this is garbage. I had a teacher in high school who, if you turned in a paper that had any spelling mistakes, you would instantly get a 0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So by this inherited standard, because I have it's just straight garbage.
Well, also for they have accomplish.
Oh my gosh, did I have another one in there?
Yeah, for they have accomplished the impossible.
Oh, and that's straight from the journal as well.
There you go. Mm-hmm. You can't have that, Aaron. That would be a present pluperfect, which is not a thing.
What if you take the thee as a pronoun?
That makes it worse?
Okay, well, trying to save it there. For they have accomplished. Nope.
Nope. There's no saving it. There's no saving it.
Oh, man.
No offense, but I feel like all of the benefit that we found from this is in conversation.
Yes,
which
entirely.
Which, again, is useful. Like, that's what poetry can be for. But it would also be nice if the poem, did something.
Was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a limerick from me, so.
With deranged and manged.
Booyah!
Well, folks, we're going to end our time here today with the words of a true poet to send you on your way. And this poem is called Ode to the Sun by Eloise Bibb Thompson. It's a longer poem, but I think the entirety of it kind of is why I picked it. So rather than a selection, I'm going to read the whole thing. So here we go. How many scenes, O sun, hast thou not shone upon? How many tears, O light, have dropped before thy sight? How many heartfelt sighs? How many piercing cries? How many deeds of woe dost thy bright light not know? How many broken hearts that are pierced by sorrow's darts? How many maddened brains that are wild with passion's reins? How many soul-sick lives, stabbed with despair's sharp knives, hast thou above the skies not seen with thy radiant eyes? Shine on, majestic one, shine on, O glorious sun, and never fail to cheer my life so dark and drear. Where'er thou shinest bright, and show thy brilliant light, the cares I know each day silently steal away.
Wow.
Yeah, that is called good poetry, folk.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful.
This has been My Bad Poetry.
Now go write your own terrible poetry.
I think the why they still listen is what I'm really curious about.
You've heard our voices and our ideas, and you still listen.
Mm-hmm.
Can we recommend a good therapist?
Can we recommend a better podcast?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Rhyme free doesn't matter. It's my bad poetry.